We'll start with Wayne St. James.
Hi, Shayne. What how did Steve sell you on coming to Detroit for a year?
I think just, obviously the opportunity that's there. He told me obviously he knew my strengths for the power play, and that was definitely going to be a big part of me going there. And I think the biggest thing for me on a 1-year deal is just I need to have the right opportunity to show what I could do. And I thought it was a great fit.
Did you talk to Derek Lalonde at all in regards to that? Like you mentioned having an
I have
opportunity
not
to
yet, no.
No, okay. And just kind of what stood out about Detroit when you've played against them in the past?
Just a young, hungry team. It's they're definitely one of the younger teams in the league. A lot of skill, and that fits my game perfect in the sense that I like to play offensively, and when you're surrounded by the skill, it seems to work. So just definitely excited for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Ansar Khan.
Yeah, hi, Shayne. What do you feel are some of the keys to a successful power play?
To be honest, I think the biggest thing for power plays is obviously familiarity with each other and whatnot. But I think one of the biggest thing is just you get a comfort level with playing with guys, and where the outs are. I think where a guy's going to be, and obviously puck movement and chemistry is a big thing. But I think for any good power plays out there, you see they've been together for a while, number one. But the way they move the puck, they just know where everyone's going to be, and you just get used to guys, and it helps a lot.
And do you know anybody very well on the team, having played with them at any levels before?
Just here and there. I played with Larks on Team North America, the World Cup a few years ago, and just in passing, seeing a lot of these guys. But it's pretty fresh for me. I know one of my ex-teammates just signed Christian Fischer, so definitely excited about that.
Thanks, Shayne.
Ted Colfin.
Hey, Shayne, just talk about being on that playoff run with Carolina. I mean, you haven't been on, I've seen you've been on a few playoff runs, but nothing like that. How exciting, and does it kind of make you want to go back to something like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely lights a fire in you. Especially going that far in playoffs. I've been in playoffs before, haven't really been past the second round, and you get a little taste of it. But when you're playing in the conference final and you're playing in those meaningful games that late in the season and early in the summer, it's just a different atmosphere, different vibe, and it's something that I was thankful for that I got to experience. And obviously, once you get a taste, you obviously want to get right back there.
I know it's kind of an old bit, but you're a South Florida guy, right? Or you were born there?
Yeah, I was born.
How did you get involved in hockey that way?
I had a grandpa from Montreal, so that helped a lot. He was a season ticket holder to the Panthers, and I went to every game as a kid, and just fell in love with the game. My sister was a figure skater too, so she was always at the rink. She's a little older than me, so my mom would just give me a stick, and I'd run around the rink. Just said, "Don't get in trouble," and just fell in love with the game.
Seriously, more hockey than like baseball or golf or anything?
Yeah,
like
it was all hockey.
South Florida. I mean,
I played baseball for sure, but I was all hockey.
Sounds good. Hey, thanks for this.
Yep.
Jonathan Mills.
Hey, Shayne, when you look back on those years in Philly and then a couple of those years in Arizona and then most recently in Carolina, where do you think you've taken the most steps in your just playmaking?
Just in playmaking in general. Good years in Philly, and I think injuries really caught up with me, and it's just a blend of falling out of favor there. And thankfully I got a great opportunity in Arizona, and that I got to showcase that I could still play in this league and resurrect my career, and give myself another chance, and showing people that I'm still a good player. And I'll forever be grateful and thankful for the Coyotes organization for giving me that opportunity over the last couple of years. And it springboarded me into the opportunity I got with Carolina. And I think for playing that, given that opportunity in Arizona, it lets you find that confidence that you need to play in the way I play. And it helped me in that. And the big thing with my career is consistency. And the last 2 years, it's nice to have two good years in a row.
Thanks, Shayne. Welcome to Detroit.
Thank you.
Art Regner.
Sorry about that. Hey, Shayne, I think we all know that you're a high-end, very gifted offensive defenseman. There's a lot of young blue line talent here in Detroit. Obviously, Mo Seider, Simon Edvinsson, Albert Johansson, and actually the list goes on and on. Do you look at your role as not only you, obviously, blossoming here in Detroit, but maybe being a mentor to those guys? And what do you hope to teach them about maybe the offensive side of defense?
It's kind of cliche, but sometimes, offensive guys, a big thing is confidence. I mean, when you lose that confidence, sort of say, the first thing people say for offensive guys is, where's the offense? And then obviously they're gonna chirp your defense next. That's always the first chirp. And I think when you're losing that confidence or it's not going your way, I think just the biggest thing is less is more. Keep it simple. Your abilities will take over when that time comes. But if you're fighting it and you're not letting the game come to you, it's just not going to work. That's the biggest thing I learned over my career. And definitely being an older guy now for these younger guys, obviously just being a good example, leading by example. And obviously if they ask you stuff, you try to give them the best advice and what's worked for you.
When you look at the I don't know how often you look at maybe other guys in the league, but Ole Mata might have been in the same situation you are in now. He signed a one-year deal with the Red Wings, worked out very well. Steve re-ups him for 2 years. I mean, was that part of your mind? I mean, Steve's the type of guy, if it's working, you're a team guy, everything seems to be going into place, that you have more than a one-year opportunity here in Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously when you sign a one-year deal, you're betting on yourself and you're trusting that organization and the opportunity that's given to you. And obviously I follow the careers of other guys, and Ole is in the same situation as me, fell out of favor somewhere, go somewhere else, and resurrects his career and springboards that into a contract extension. I mean, that's the dream of every NHL guy, that gets another opportunity somewhere. That's the end result that you want. So obviously on a one-year deal, you're going to bet on yourself, and hopefully it could lead to that.
You look like you're kind of a fashion kind of guy with your background white, the white t-shirt, all kind of blending in. So I want to ask you an aesthetic kind of question. And I'm not going to throw the Coyotes in there about their uniform colors because they seem to change. But we know the Carolina red was based on the Red Wing red. But if you had to choose Detroit Red Wing red or Philadelphia Flyers orange, which color would you go with?
When you look at orange for about 8 years, it gets a little old. So I'll definitely go with the Red Wing red. I'll go with the original 6 team any day.
Okay, great. Thank you. Welcome to Detroit, Shayne. Look forward to covering you.
Thanks.
Bob.
And Shayne, obviously we've talked a lot about it, and you're kind of known for your offensive skill and your puck skill, but how have you seen and in what ways has your defensive game kind of grown and evolved in your time in the NHL?
Yeah, obviously I touched on it before. Offensive guys, they get a lot of flack for their defensive side. I mean, that's the first chirp of any offensive guy, that they're going to say they can't play defense. But for me, any coach I've gone to, when they come for the first time, they say that I'm surprised that your defensive game's pretty good. I was like, yeah, I mean, because I take pride in it, and I try to do the best I can. I know my better abilities are on the offensive side, but I am a defenseman. I got to play defense first. And for me, I try to prove that I am a two-way player, and I just try to go out there and show it.
Thank you.
Max Boltman.
Hey, Shayne, I'm just looking at kind of some of your goal totals here. You don't usually see defensemen with 4 double-digit seasons here. What do you think is the kind of the key to the goal scoring part of your game?
Shoot the puck. That's the biggest thing. I'm blessed to have a pretty hard shot, and I try to get it off as quick as I can, get pucks through. And my grandpa will text me after every game. He's like, only 2 shots. What's going on? He likes, he wants me to shoot every puck I see. So I think volume of shots, and obviously the more you shoot, more goals are going to go in.
And then just looking at kind of the workload that you were able to get in Arizona, getting 20, 22 minutes a night, what did that do for you in terms of experience, and what did you take away?
Yeah, I mean, it was great. In the sense of you get that opportunity out there to play that many minutes. You could show the rest of the league that you could handle those minutes. And, obviously I I touched on it earlier, just, showing your two-way play. I mean, when you're playing that many minutes, you're not only out there for offense, you're obviously defending as well. So it's just nice to play those minutes. It springboards you into other opportunities. And when I went to Carolina, my role was a little less, but, I felt like I was prepared for it, and it helped me along in the playoffs.
What's your Christian Fisher scouting report, and what did you like about playing with him?
You guys are going to love him. He's a good media guy. I'll tell you that. Great guy, though.
Love to hear it. Thanks, Shayne.
Yeah. Thank you.
Last question, Sean Shapiro.
Hey, Shayne, I know you've played on both the left and the right in your career. What kind of goes into you having developed that comfort level from playing on both sides at the blue line?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of give and take. Obviously on the left side, it's a little more comfortable. Pucks are rimmed around you on the offensive blue line. It's easier to pick up and whatnot. It comes low to high. You could one time them, but there's definitely some strengths to playing on the right side too. A lot of my fakes and stuff work a little more on the right side, to be honest, but you could one time a lot more pucks from your partner too. I think the gap is a little different defensively. You're crossing your body. If you're on the right side as opposed to the left, you could just turn. So it's little things here and there, but it's a good feather in my hat that I take pride in that I could play both sides, and it gives me a chance to play everywhere. So I like it.
We talk a lot about that 5-on-5 sometimes, but does that ever come up within the power play perspective too, of being a lefty or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends who's on the half walls. You have lefty, righty on the half wall. If I have a righty on my left, it seems to work a little better sometimes. Or even if it's a lefty, they can go behind their back, and I can hit a one timer. So it just all depends, what the blend is of guys, and you just got to know the hands that are around you.
Thank you.
All right, those are all the questions we had. Shayne, thanks so much for the time today.
Thanks, guys.
We're going to move everyone back in the waiting room, and we